Good morning, everybody. It is my great privilege and honor to be able to introduce our next speaker. He will be the only speaker on this panel, and he will have 20 to 25 minutes, and there will be some time for questions. The next speaker is Professor Avishay Braverman, who was born in Ramat Gan. He was born in 1948 in the year of Israel's creation. He served in the Israel Defense Force as a lieutenant. He has two children, two sons. One is serving in the Israel Defense Force at the moment.
Both of them.
Sorry, both are serving in the IDF at the moment. After completing the army, he started studying economics and statistics at Tel Aviv University, where he obtained a BA degree. He went on to complete a PhD degree at Stanford University, and thereafter went to work at the World Bank as a senior researcher, concentrating on development economics. He has published widely and is a renowned economist. He was recognized in 1995 by Rand Afrikaans University with an honorary doctorate and has received many honorary doctorates and citations for his work in development economics. When he returned to Israel, he started in 1990 at Ben-Gurion University. The university at that stage was a very small university with about 5,000 students. During his 16 years at the university grew to over 17,000 students. He made it his mission to include the less privileged people in the student population. In 1990, there were very few Bedouin students, and by the time he completed his tenure, there were over 500 Bedouin students. Most of them were women. There are 6 Bedouin professors, and during the time that he was there, he extended his Tikkun Olam, or his outreach program, into Africa, helping Africa solve its water problems, its food scarcity and supply problems, and its agricultural problems. In return, in recognition of this, in 1997, Nelson Mandela was prepared to receive an honorary doctorate from the Ben-Gurion University, and that occurred under his tenure. The Ben-Gurion University is a leading center for Hebrew literature in Israel, is the leading center. It is, amongst others, Amos Oz and Aaron Appelfeld on their staff. It is a renowned cyber center, a biotech center, a center for desert agriculture, and it has a high-tech park, and Professor Braverman contributed to building over 25 buildings at the campus, and these buildings are renowned in Israel as being amongst the most architecturally spectacular buildings. In 2006, he entered politics, and he has been in 3 Knessets for the Labour Party. He is the head of the Finance and Economic Affairs Committee, which is one of the most important committees in Israel. He will not be standing again for the elections, which are about to happen in a week or so. So this looks like the end of his political career. I'm not quite sure what he has in mind for the future, but whatever, he has a very important message to bring to us today. He will be speaking on the purpose of Israel, survival or tikkun olam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, I'm glad I haven't been to South Africa since 1998, the 50th anniversary of Israel. As a matter of fact, while I was in the World Bank, I worked in Latin America, Africa, Asia, East Europe, but South Africa, given its apartheid, was not part of the mandate of the World Bank. And therefore, I appear, the first time I arrived here when at age 42 I left the World Bank and became the president of Ben-Gurion University. And I want to thank the South African Jews. Yes, my mother is from Lithuania. My mother moved to Israel in 1938. All our family have been slaughtered by the Lithuanian farmer when the Germans came in 1941 to Lita. My father came to Poland. But when I came here, and when I came from Washington, I had a vision that Beersheba will become a metropolis, like my alma mater, Stanford, or high-tech park, or research institution. But contrary to Stanford, that they have a bridge between West Palo Alto and East Palo Alto. East Palo Alto had the blacks, West Palo Alto was Stanford. To open it to all the disadvantaged population, Jews and Bedouins, I went to the government. And the government said, Braverman, you've been too long in the World Bank, you gave millions, you led all the agriculture problem. Here, wait a second, get $1 million, you'll get a support. And I realized that if I add to the government, the discrepancy between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and Beersheba would be enormous. And we believe, like Ben-Gurion, that we have to build a metropolis in Beersheba, because Israel without the Negev will be a city stage like Carthago named Tel Aviv. And then I came here, and Bertie Labner, that is not here, is in Cape Town, his son is running there, and Eric Samson, and the late Mendel Kaplan that was involved in the Hebrew University, they came with me. There were incredible Jews around the world. I'm 67, the age of my country. I'm proud of the achievement of our country, but I tell you, the achievement were not just the Israelis. If it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for people in America and Europe, Israel will never be the powerhouse it is today. So first, I want to thank you, the Jews of South Africa. But then things change, and the most important two visits I had to South Africa. Yes, in 1995, I was honored by Rand African University for my work economic development. It was moving. But then in 1997, I came to Cape Town to honor Nelson Mandela, that everybody wanted to honor him, and he agreed only to honor by Ben-Gurion University. And I'll never forget this event, the older people, because when I came here, I realized people don't even remember. There were 16 vice-chancellors, the government of South Africa, the leadership of the Jewish community. It was full of love. Mandela just was 80 and he married his third wife, and we had a great conversation with my wife about relationship. And at the end, there was a choir of blind women. The president took my hand and we danced together for 15 minutes. It was full of love and grace, because I never met, and I met most world leadership, and some of them I honored personally, of the level of Nelson Mandela. A year later, on the 50th anniversary of Israel, Yediot Achronot, the largest magazine, decided to put magazine on leadership, because what is lacking around the world, everywhere, is moral, serious, modest leadership. And they asked me, 4 weeks before Yom Kippur, if I can interview Mandela. I said, no way. I called him. Bertie Labner helped me, and he said, Braverman, come. I spent 3 hours with him in Pretoria. And this interview, that when Nelson Mandela died, was published again. And since I realized people don't realize what Mandela thought about Israel and the Jews, it was translated to English, and Ben Schwartz is here, so Ben can circulate that to everybody, because Nelson Mandela said to me, I admire the Jewish people, the state of Israel, what he learned. He told me that essentially the idea that he learned as a kid, when he was a messenger boy, he was working as a messenger boy for a Jewish family, and they sent him on the bicycle to get products about 30 kilometers, 30, 40 minutes. And after a month, he told his Jewish employer, I can go 3 minutes and buy this product. There is a shop over there. He said, no, over there is a landsman, a Jew, go over there. And then he turned to his assistant and he said, it's not a racist statement. First, you have to take care of your own. The Jews, in the way they create communities, and arevut adadit, mutual responsibility are example, and education. And he talked about all the questions, you'll see that. About the fact, yes, I told him why we are Arafat and Gaddafi and Castro, and he said, Braverman, don't patronize me. When you guys supported in Israel apartheid and experiment everything here, I forgive you. But I forgive also George Bush, I forget the French. Let's think about way to be a conduit, about leadership that bring people together. I never met a man like Nelson Mandela, and I met them all. And here, therefore, I want to speak about the purpose of the State of Israel. Since I was a kid, and I'm not religious, some of you religious, I'm not. I believe, but I take it in larger context. The religious people believe that the purpose of the Jewish people is to be light unto the nation. Ben-Gurion, Jabotinsky said, not from the religious point of view, if survival are only the issue, what's the point? The purpose is to be light unto the nation, is to demonstrate in our own homeland, again, after all we went through, that we can build a fair economy, just society, moral leadership, aspiring to peace, run by people that are moral, serious, and thinking for the long term, and not about me and my power and how I look on TV. That's what I was educated for, and that's where I mentor. I was close to Yitzhak Shamir, so I disagree with him. I didn't know Ben-Gurion, but the old leadership, it's been moral, it's been modest, and they differ in view, but they think for the long term. Now, Israel accomplished tremendously. I cannot believe to see the powerful army that we have. I cannot believe what we built today. You know, Beersheba, that my dream was to build it as a city. It was in a major magazine, I don't know if it's for the New York Times, subsidiary, etc., that they ranked the next 50 most promising cities in the future. One was in China, and the other was Beersheba, to be a cyber city. Now, why is this happening? Because when there is a vision, and there is a team, and you work together, and you learn the wisdom of leadership of Mandela, that my first question to Nelson Mandela, to President Mandela, I asked, what is the secret of management and leadership? He said, not to lead by bravado, to listen to other people, and sometimes, when they disagree, to go with them. Because leadership is not just the modern leadership that is destroying political structure all over the world, to be a celebrity, to be known, and not to go for what is important for our grandchildren. And therefore, we did a lot. I cannot believe the high-tech here. I saw Ambassador Lang here. I think he does incredible work, but he's lucky to have so many of the people that came here. I saw Gadi Mazor here. You know, I saw innovators here. I know people here. Israel is incredible. But Israel had also problems. We can benefit the earth, but something changed in our culture. Because I have a son, he's lieutenant in the army, he's in cyber. Let's say in 2 years, after 5 years he leaves, and he have an idea. He had an idea, the same 30 people that have all the money in Israel go to him, finance him, and technology, marketing, value-added employment, and often taxation will go to America, to Europe, to India and China. And most of the benefit won't come to Israel. Now, when the Chinese came to Israel lately, there was a group of the most incredible Chinese people. 50 people, Oxford, Cambridge, Stanford, who is the richest woman from Shanghai. they came to benefit from Israel. Their eyes went out. Ask him a question. You think the Israelis are smarter than you? No. You learn that in 5 years you'll be as smart. There's no country in the world that age 21 they'll give like my son and others to run the most sophisticated system in the world. When the 25s they go out, it's not only my son and others. The country invested billions of dollars in the army, in universities. The benefit they have to create that will go to a second stage. I don't care that 95% will do exit, but 5% second stage, that will be more employment to many of the people that leave universities, and some of them get very low income. That you'll create a second stage by giving tax break, cutting bureaucracy, and the ideal model won't be exit. It was like before when we build industry for the long term. Not only me and my exit like the casino in Las Vegas. So yes, we are blessing now for the entire world with our exits. But we have to build our country on tikkun olam, which is to say, you build it to everybody. And we have to reform our tax system. I want to give you, we can change the tax system, not only burdening the middle class and the property values. We can do a lot. But for that, we need, again, to address the question. Survival, all the time, like talking, we, Iran, everything. What about tikkun olam within ourselves as an outside? And it can be done very simply. Why it's not done? And that's my question to the young people. See, I was 9 years in politics. I saw it all. I walked around the world. The problem in modern politics today that 4 ministers don't work together. What is the secret when Mandela, I asked him first, of leadership? Is building a team, is listening. When everybody ran for himself, Israel, my beloved, the successful state that I admire, is in the bottom of some countries in the third world in building permit, in time of doing business, and also in the corruption at the top. Yes, there is corruption at the top. It can be changed. It can be different. But for that, it's not that the election, who is the most good-looking and reality show, that you select only celebrities. We have to engage in the question that we are serving tikkun olam. And tikkun olam means, if you're religious, if you're not religious, it's not just that I'll survive with my might and I'll kill everybody. We can kill. We know to kill to defend ourselves. We're doing that. But we should, the purpose is again to build a country that is so magnificent. I have been working all over the world. I don't know one country that per square meter have young people, Gadi can call you young and younger than you, and older people like in Israel. But somehow today the selection process to politics, and I'm talking about all parties, and sometimes to big business doesn't bring the moral, the modest, the people that have the spirit of Nelson Mandela. It's very difficult. Because the selection process, how you elected, if you're known, celebrity, if you have contract voters, somehow the morality we talk today to these Christian people, if capitalism has to save itself, if Israel has to be lighter to the nation, you, the young people, for Abonim, Beitar, Maccabi, whatever you do, have to engage in the deep question, not only about me and my success, but how we are together. The Jewish people are in the might of their power. Who would believe that after the Holocaust, the Jews will be the most powerful in their history in Israel and the United States? And look at your small community. How much energy, how much creativity, how much talent. But somehow, when you are in the might of your power and you get hubris, it's dangerous. You have to listen what is wrong. And therefore, I think today the young leadership of the Jews around the world have to engage openly the question, are we really going to do tikkun olam? Israel today doesn't need money from South Africa, the way you helped us in the past. Today, there is Professor Friedman here from the great Hebrew University. When I was president, I told others and people from Tel Aviv, we should help you to help South Africa, that in such a difficult time, if it be transformed, it will be hope for all of Africa. I tell you one thing that I'll sum. There will be election on March 17. When I came here, I decided I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm from the Labour Party. I don't know what this election will happen. They are very close. I don't know if Labour will get more votes. They call Zionist camp, Likud. My concern that things won't change much after the election. Because it's a great roadshow, and I saw this morning when you debated, I felt like again in the Knesset, everybody shouts, this, you are this. Once the guy said Nazi, I couldn't stand to hear that, you know. Shoot. We should be careful about the word we say. Not bring Nazi, not bring Shoah, it's something else. We need a debate, Mandela style. We have to listen to each other. We don't want to antagonize people that believe we have different point of view, but we have to engage again in the Jewish question, what is our purpose and what we're all about? You will have a problem, the young people, that I didn't have. See, when I grew up, everything was clear. 67 are the border, there will be no wars, you know, there will be prosperity. I was also lucky when I was born. Of course, we'll get all the good jobs. There was a baby boom. You know, not the way the many kids that are not children of rich parents. If indeed the land of Israel won't be divided, some of you want that. You young people will have to discuss what type of state will be when there is one group of people west of the Jordan River, one person, one vote, what will be the ramification? You will have to engage in that question because it's not to shout this and that. There have to be seriousness. There have to be depth. When it comes to economics, it shouldn't be just to say, well, we are the best. We are the best in some, and we need correction. In summary, I tell you, I am so proud of my country and more of the young people. They are better even than my generation. They're entrepreneurial, they're moral, they're devoted. And since I had the fortune to go all around the world as president and before, I see amazing power in the Jewish people. And I see in the world, the way I see people here from all colors and all creeds, people that are believers say, live to your destiny. Because if we're not going to live to our destiny, remember what we did 2,000 years ago. We've been run by fanatics who have tremendous inequality that the priests took all the money for themselves and the people of Israel were angry, and therefore the Romans finished the business. We should learn from history about compassion, wisdom, and long term. Your young people are inspiring. I believe we should start a discussion all over the world. And I don't know what I next will do. I'll be offered to be chairman of bank, which I won't take. But part of me is to go with the young people that I saw here, and I'm so glad that I was this morning. It was more important to me to be this morning than the wonderful speeches that I enjoy with my friend Erwin Kotler and to see my friend Nathan Sharansky and the transforming mayor Barkat. But to listen to the young people debating here, not saying it's not the old question, Problems are complicated. We need in the world Mandela and the clerks. We need them in Israel. We need them in South Africa. And we have to come from the young generation. I believe Am Yisrael Chai for its purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for that amazing, stimulating talk. There will be time for 3 questions. Will you please show me your hands? Keep them short. Questions and not statements. Yes. 3 questions.
At the end of the session, we give him this.
Yeah.
Wait for the mic. Hey, my name is Naomi Dinur. I'm from Witso. First of all, I want to thank you for your talk. It was very informative. We all want everything. We want equality. We want that everybody will be in his own house. We want Israel to be in Europe with good neighbors, because at the moment Israel chose the worst neighbors that they could. There was... Okay.
I just want to remind you that the good neighbors in Europe destroy 6 million Jews. So let's
yes.
don't talk about their neighbors.
You're right. However, Israel at the moment has very bad neighbors, and that poses a lot of challenges. And there was no mention to the fact that Israel has to survive and to protect itself, and it also it needs a lot of
can you ask the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
The question is there any connection between the fact that the young generation is struggling and the security problems of Israel?
I'll answer it very simple. Yes, the defense expenditure in Israel are enormous, and therefore they are a burden. And I'll tell you something else. There is no reason that with the defense expenditure that existed, that we cannot create a good future for our children. There is also tremendous waste in the defense budget. I'm not talking about the warriors, for other things. The country is not well run. So, of course, we need contribution here and there, but at the same time, we have tough security. We can totally give our children what they deserve by cutting bureaucracy, letting small-scale business run, having a team that work together. Believe me, I know how to do that, but I'll be out of politics because it's not by one, it's only by a team. And the problem, I told it to Mr. Netanyahu before I left, if there are 4 people working together and not me and me and me, you can cut that. Not only the defense budget is the cause for the inequality and poverty in Israel. No.
Thank you. Okay, another 2 questions. One in the back there, in the middle.
We all in this room love Israel, but may I ask you, you said that there's a future and you want the best future for the young people of Israel. From the economic point of view, how do you reconcile the fact that housing is beyond the reach of all the young people in Israel, that a tub of white cheese made in Israel costs less in Berlin than in Israel, that I'll give you many more examples. How do you see this from the economic point of view as laying a basis for the young people of Israel?
Thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned, this is a fantastic question. You see, there are 2 reasons for that. I'll start with the properties. You see, one of the issues, how you measure a successful finance minister in Israel. You measure him if he has deficit or not deficit, not if he has a vision or he changed something. So how he collects the money, the easiest way. One is value-added tax. Therefore, we have such a value-added tax that is essentially regressive on the middle class and the poor. And the second, the fact that the land prices, apartment prices are so high, it let the treasury collect a lot of money, so the finance minister say, I have a balanced budget. When it comes to the property, for a long time we have to release more land, we have to cut bureaucracy, we have to go to the supply issue, but also there is the issue of the policies of the Bank of Israel, and I won't go that because I didn't come. Because we decrease so much the interest rate, everything run into housing. But we can change that, and now I'm coming to the second question for the cost of living. It's a shame. When I was chairman of a special committee on reforming essentially the food businesses in Israel, I look at 2005, Israel prices were lower, as you say, honorable gentlemen, than Berlin and others. Today they're higher. What is the single most important event that took place between 2005 and today? The big companies become mammoths, elephants. They bought everything. We don't have competitive structure. We have duopoly in banking, everything. We have to fight for benevolent capitalism and competition. We have to destroy some of that. I tried in the reform that I led to do some, but insufficient. Israel is not competitive enough, and at the same time, as I say, doesn't release land enough. For 7 years, people talk about that. If 4 ministers will work together, cut bureaucracy, take the same issues, the cost of living will be bearable. Otherwise, the young people of Israel, as you said, and now they complain to me, and they say, Professor Braverman, how can they say that we are the best economy in the world? It can be done, but it requires a team and seriousness, and some of this campaign on politics, sometimes I am ashamed when I look how people compete for politics. Everybody say whatever they say. 1 minute after the election, nobody remembers what they say.
Thank you. Okay, a last question. Can't see. Anybody? Okay. Have you got the mic? Okay.
Yes, young people, that's the future. What's your name and where are you from?
Huh? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Jared. I'm Second Maskir of Habonim Draw, South Africa this year.
Yes, what?
No claps necessary.
You see, before they talk, that's a bad culture. Okay.
My question is, with the move away from the kibbutz movement today, what is the role for young olim to Israel? What role do you see for young olim?
In the kibbutz movement?
With the move away from the kibbutz movement, what is the role for young olim to Israel who identify with the labor movement and are largely secular?
Basically you said, of course, the kibbutz movement was a major power of the Zionist movement, though it was always small in scale. It essentially brought the political leadership, the army leadership, but today the kibbutz movement, of course, in a different place. Still, after the tremendous crisis that we have with the hyperinflation and breakdown of some of the structure, there is some resurrection of the kibbutzim. But say if you want to make aliyah and you believe in arevut hadadit and tikkun olam and social justice, and you're not going to go to a kibbutz, so there is such a movement now for kibbutzim ironiim, for urban. The young people of Israel are bubbling to create something different. We discuss again to create cooperative that will be guarded by Christian Jewish value and not that people at the top take the money and run. You will find a lot of young people in Israel that are eager to do something different. They need mentorship, they need help, but you'll find a room there because I think my generation betrayed the young people. I respect Begin, I respect Shamir, I respect Ben Gurion, Sharet, Eshkol. My generation became wealthy, took power, and forgot that it's not about herself or himself, that we still, as the Honorable Lady from Witzo said, we're such a difficult environment. In the world, there's such a arevut hadadit. We should have arevut hadadit and mutual responsibility, not only in war, also in the era of peace. So you have it placed the way you do it in South Africa, you can do it in Israel, because tikkun olam start every day, and that's what I learned from Nelson Mandela. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for all the questions. Wait, Professor. Professor, we've got a gift for you, so will you come and sit down? Yeah. Thank you for all the questions. I just want to say the message that I got from you was that you pointed out a new way for Zionism forward to build a fair economy, a just society with a moral and modest leadership, reinstilling it with values that come from Mandela. And I think that is a wonderful message with which to leave us.
And
so
I ask you, Mr. Levitas, the interview that I sent to Ben Schwartz, who's Nelson Mandela, it was translated to English. I want everybody to read it. They'll see exactly what he said about the Jews, about Israel, and about what leadership should be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. I'm handing the professor a book of Jewish memories of Mandela. I think it's very appropriate.